Hello everybody, my name is Adam, and I have a question for you. Have you ever done a presentation or speech in front of a live audience, and you're just sitting there feeling nervous, and you feel the pressure building inside of you, and you start forgetting what you want to say and all that stuff, and maybe you just weren't prepared to do the presentation, like you were procrastinating, or you just didn't have time or something. That's exactly how I am when most of my speeches. When most of the time when I do a speech, I don't even prepare for it, which is not good. Which brings me to probably one of the worst presentations I've ever done in 7th grade, 5th period English class. So it's Monday. My teacher says, all right, guys, you guys got a presentation that's due Friday. You got to be able to do it from 2 to 4 sentences, and you got to be able to articulate well, and you got to have good hand gestures and dynamic range. And I'm like, all right, 5 days, easy. I got this. I go home, and I'm already procrastinating. I procrastinate until it's Thursday. And I'm like, all right, well, I got to do this presentation. I write the PowerPoint. I type it all down. I got enough slides. And I'm like, all right, cool. This is perfect. I got this. But I look at the time, and it's 9 o'clock. And I'm like, oh, shoot. Man, I should be going to bed soon. And, well, I'm just going to, just present the project when I get there. Because I already have the PowerPoint. If I get there, I can just use the PowerPoint to, say my speech. And I wrote it myself, so I should know what I'm saying. So I go to bed. Anyway, it turns into Friday. And I wake up, and I don't really think about it until I get to school. But then I'm like, oh, shoot. I have a presentation that I didn't study for. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, I'm nervous. Now, I start studying in class for example, when I got to my science class, I just started cutting out everything that my teacher said and ignoring what she was saying just so I can study for the presentation, which you should never do. Because then I had to make up work for her and just don't do it. Anyway, so I showed up to 5th period, and I'm really nervous. I'm feeling like the pressure you get, and I'm like, oh man, I don't know if I can do this. And then some other people are like, oh yeah, I got this, and other people are just like you and whatever, and you're like, oh man, well, I hope I'm not first to do the presentation. I hope I'm not last, because the middle for me is the best, because I don't like doing first, and I don't want to be last because you have that pressure building on you for the whole 40 minutes. Anyway, so the teacher goes up, he's like, all right, I'm going to help you do hand gestures, right? Or help with the hand gestures to tell you how long you've been doing your presentation, so like 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute kind of thing, to help you pace. So I'm like, all right, cool. So people who go through, they know what they're doing. They finish the presentation, and then they, they finished the presentation, and they did great. They articulated well. They had good hand gestures. They did everything perfectly fine, and they got an A. And then I go up, and I'm like, oh, shoot. I got to do this presentation I didn't study for. So I go up, and I start doing a presentation, and it's going great until my friends, they started looking at me and started making weird faces and showing a picture as my inspiration. And it started making me laugh, and it started expanding my time. Then my teacher hand gestured 3 minutes, and I'm like, oh, I only have 3 minutes? I'm halfway done, I only have 3 minutes. I should be done by now. So I start rushing through the slides. And I'm spending like 10 seconds, less than 10 seconds each slide. I'm just reading bullet points at this point. I get to the end, to the conclusion. And then I'm sitting there, and I just start I improv the conclusion. It basically has nothing to do with it. And then I end up saying, oh, and that's it. That's my presentation, which you shouldn't end like that. So the moral of the story is always be prepared when you're presenting a project or a presentation or anything, and do not procrastinate. I hope you can take that into consideration. Thank you.